Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cringe Club, the podcast where we celebrate everything cringe. Now, in this episode, you will find out why Tweedledum and Tweedledee are terrified of bestselling children's author Emma Swan, which one of us is a terrible driver, or is it both? And I reveal a little secret about the legendary holiday park mascot, Bradley Bear. Now, before I play you the episode, I have just got a very quick Cringers Anonymous that has been sent in, and they urgently need my help. Okay, as you know, Cringers Anonymous is the part of the show where listeners can write in with their cringe dilemmas and me and the guest help answer them. But unfortunately, I didn't get this one until after Emma had already gone. So I'm going to do my best to deal with it on my own, because I'm telling you, it is a total nightmare. Even gets a little sound effect. That's how bad it is. So here goes. Obviously, it's totally anonymous. So someone has written in and said it accidentally did a massive fart in a quiet moment in class, and they are reliving that embarrassment every day. I just have one question for you, dear listener. Was it in fart class? They can't seem to shift the shame. So what should they do? How do they get over this? How do they take that memory and make it into something positive? Now, this is a tricky one because farts are embarrassing, aren't they? But I think I can make you feel better, because when I was at university doing drama, I stupidly had a massive can of Coke before going on. I think between me and you, I had a hangover, and so a can of Coke was the go-to cure back then. Anyway, stupid idea before I'm about to on stage. I get up. I can't remember what the play was now. It was a Brecht. Yeah, but I can't remember what it was. It's quite boring. But I only had a couple of lines, annoyingly, perhaps because I kept getting hangovers. And I remember I had to come in and give a message to someone really important, like, a noble person. As I went to deliver my line, my only one of two lines I was really excited about, a massive burp comes out instead. So I think it's something like, "Oh, my lord," and then a big, I can't do fake burps, big burp. It's really embarrassing. Now, how did I live that down? Well, to tell you the truth, everyone laughed in the audience. Everyone laughed. Obviously, people on stage, they had to keep in character, so they didn't really laugh. I just sort of went on to the next bit. But to be honest, it was a really boring play, and I almost think that was probably the highlight. So what I did is pretended that I did this burp on purpose to get a bit of a laugh, which did kind of get me in trouble with the drama teacher. But it was worth it, because for some reason, a fake burp didn't feel as embarrassing as a real burp. So that might make you feel a bit better. I was very embarrassed at the time until I came up with this idea of pretending it was fake. So what I would say to you is, you could pretend it was a fake fart. Maybe get yourself one of those little fart machines. You can get them on Amazon. My kids used to drive me mad with them, like little sound effects, all different fart sounds. You could get one of them and then just keep doing it, every week or so in lessons. And then reveal, like at the end of the week, at the end of the month or term, reveal that, oh, by the way, you think I'm in farting. Well, the joke's on you, because it's this machine. You could do that. Or, another plan that I've just thought of, actually. You could what you need to do is get everyone else to fart so much that it almost filters out your fart of shame. So how about this? How about you bring in a load of baked beans, which famously give you wind. Bring in a load of baked beans and kind of tempt all your classmates to eat them at lunchtime, as many as they can. How can we do that? We could say it's charity baked bean eating. We could maybe, say if they eat all these beans, you'll give them a sweet. I don't know, but somehow tempt all these kids. Maybe let's see who can eat beans the fastest. I would have definitely fallen for that back in the day. If someone had dared me, I couldn't refuse a dare. Still can't. Anyway, so do that, and then everyone will be farting so much they will not remember which fart came from who and when. There you go. That's my advice. Good luck. If anyone else has any more dilemmas, I have run out. Is everyone getting a bit less cringy in the world? I wonder. But I would love some to take on to the next show. So please get in touch, either DM me or you can email me at cringeclubcrew@gmail.com. And I can give you some amazing advice like that. Hello, in the Cringe Club today, we have the very funny author of the brilliant Cruise Ship Kid series. It's Emma Swan. Welcome to the Cringe Club, Emma.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
As you know, I'm a big fan of your book. Delightfully cringy, very quirky, very unusual setting for a story, which I absolutely love. So I was totally hooked on that. So we'll talk a bit more about that in a bit. But first, we're in the Cringe Club, as you know. So this is your chance to get any of those embarrassing moments that have stayed with you, possibly for years in some cases. We're going to get them all off your chest, Emma, because I reckon if we share our shame, it loses its power somehow, doesn't it? So I'm hoping after this session, you'll feel cleansed almost. You'll feel lighter, or you'll just feel rubbish from reliving all these moments. But, either way, better out than in, isn't it? So how are you? How are you feeling?
I am very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm also a very, very big fan of your books. I finished Cringe Club yesterday, and I think Kennedy and Silver would be good pals, actually.
I did think the same. I think that's why I liked your characters so much, because I could see them hanging out on the cruise ship. I mean, what a cool idea for a setting. If anyone doesn't know, Emma's book, Cruise Ship Kid, is obviously set on a cruise ship. What gave you the idea to write a story set on a cruise ship?
I got the idea originally because when I was little, I lived on ships.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so my parents worked on the ships, and I was, for like the really early years of my childhood, ship schooled on board. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
a really different kind of start to life. And I thought that'd be a fun series idea about a little girl it lives on a ship and therefore really struggles to make pals because she's only used to people
Yeah.
coming on for the holidays. What about for you? Sorry, I'm asking you back, but I'm a little bit Cringe Club obsessed now. So tell me, why the amazing format, and how do you actually feel about a group chat?
I kind of based it on my childhood diaries that I dug out when my daughter was starting secondary school. She was really nervous, and I've always kept diaries from when I was 11. So I dug them out and thought, if I read her how I felt when I started and how it went down, it would make her feel better, less nervous, because, I'm bound to have been like, well, cool back then. So I thought, but as I started reading them, it became apparent that I wasn't as cool as I remembered. I was actually a massive cringe bag. And I did so many embarrassing things. And looking back, I can think, what must everyone thought when I did these stupid things? And but to me, I thought I was being cool, but I wasn't. I was total cringe. But I gave me the idea to write about these characters, and the group chat thing I thought, would be a nice way of getting reluctant readers into books. It was really fun. It was sort of like writing a script, which I really enjoy doing as well. So it's nice to read out the voices and things like that. So
Me too. I like dialogue and I don't like description. So I was really quite annoyed while I was reading. Like, why didn't I have this idea? It's fantastic, but it's already been done.
yeah, dialogue has always been my like in my other books that are just written in normal format. My favorite thing to do was do dialogue. In fact, I had to edit so much out because sometimes I'd get carried away with the characters talking. I bet you do this as well. And so it'd be pages and pages of just two people chatting.
I couldn't agree more. My main character is friends with old people and Silver and the gang, and I will just have, in Cruise Ship Kid, I'll just have pages and pages of them just having
Yeah.
a chat with a cup of tea, and
It's
then realizing,
lovely.
wait, they're meant to be solving a crime, but they're just nattering about like apple pie or parking.
But anyway, I think we need to get onto the cringes. It's lovely. I
do.
could talk books all day,
Yeah.
but our listeners obviously love the books, but they're really here for the
For the
cringy
cringe.
stories. Yeah, to make
Great.
them feel better about their own cringes. So let's go right back, Emma. What do you think? What would you say is one of your earliest memories of being really embarrassed about something?
This, and I promise I don't only just speak about cruise ships, but it was on a ship when I was really small, and there was always a talent show on the ships. And I remember there was some older girls that I thought were really cool, wanted to enter, and then just needed another person for the sugar babes. They
Oh.
wanted to sing the sugar babes, push the button, and I was so excited to be asked, and I was so overexcited. I remember doing the talent show and being like, "This is going to be great," and worrying about what I was going to wear, and didn't actually think about if I needed to know the words to the song. So I just stood there with these cool girls. They were singing, and then it still haunts me. They're like,
Yeah.
da 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 da. Like I still don't know
I
the
bet you
words.
know the words
Yeah.
now.
No,
Oh,
I just kind of dimmed and dad, and then they helped me out, and it was just I just remember being bright red and thinking, oh yeah, of course, to sing a song you do need to know the
no.
lyrics
Might help,
potentially.
yeah, might help.
Yes,
Did you at least do the dance, you know?
I can't
No, you
dance.
just stood there just stood there humming and hoping no one would notice.
100%.
Very
Yeah, but
good.
yeah,
Did the
yeah.
girls say anything? Were they nice about it?
Oh,
Did
yeah,
they
they
not
said because it went to my verse. We divided it into verses,
Oh,
so it wasn't
no,
like
you
singing in unison.
Oh, dear.
They were like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, sorry, I got nervous," but I still didn't
You
admit that
actually
I
didn't want to say that you didn't actually go and learn the words.
no.
That's so sweet, though. I can just imagine you getting so excited and totally forgetting. That's like, getting a part in a play and just turning up without having learnt the script. That's
And I
that
just
level of cringe, I
and
think.
I think it must still haunt me, the cringe, because I'll still if I'm having a stressful dream, it'll always be that I forget. You see, this is like a therapy session.
It
I
is.
I'll think,
Mm.
"Oh, no. Oh, I'm gonna go on and forget it all, forget everything."
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I don't think I would be able to listen to the song if I think it would haunt me. Does it trigger
Yes.
you when
I
it
haven't
comes
heard it in a
on?
while. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
put it on later and see.
I
Maybe
think
the
you should
words
just
will come to me.
maybe they will. I mean, a bit too late. I
Yeah.
mean, what you could really do to cleanse yourself of this is enter a talent show and
Oh
sing that
my.
song and finally purge that. See, I do offer counselling on cringe as well, you see. I mean, feel free to sing it now.
Oh, see, that's made me break out. It's very warm suddenly.
You probably don't know the blooming words anyway,
I
let's
wouldn't
face it.
know.
Exactly. So it's totally pointless. Um, it's so funny how, like you say, these things do stay with you, and like when you even now get the stress dreams. How about as you got a bit older, did it stop? Did you get better at these
Oh,
things?
oh, 100% no. Like, I've got a lot of best friends still from school age, and
Oh well.
they think I'm so cringe, which I am. I think aren't most I hope you don't get many children's authors on here that say they're not cringe, because I feel like we've gotta be
No.
a bit.
I think, yeah, I think maybe that's one of the main personality traits that we all share. We're all a bit cringe in our own way, and I use a lot of the things that happen to me in my books, so it does kind of help, especially if you're writing for that kind of age group.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, as I got older, there was another play related one. Maybe it should have been a sign that I stopped performing, but I remember we did this was I think it was in like year 7 and we were doing Great Expectations. And because I've always even though, at age 12 I still sounded like this, like I'm 55 and have smoked for a lot of years, even though it wasn't, um,
Yeah,
I was playing Miss Havisham and I remember having to sit back in this chair and it was I think it was like a press night as much as there's a press night that the local paper will come and do,
yeah.
and the chair just completely went from underneath me and the wedding dress went up and my knickers were in the air, just like and in my legs, and it was just
Oh no.
absolutely like anytime I think of that play, well, Great Expectations,
Yeah.
the book or the character, I just seeing, an 11-year-old in a wedding dress with her knickers flailing around. I mean, and then the paper did a funny article about this
Did
poor child.
they?
That would that be allowed now? But they
Oh, I hope that wouldn't be allowed. That is harsh. That's like the olden day equivalent of things going viral on the internet, isn't it? It
yes.
was as bad as that. The question is, were you wearing nice knickers?
I think they were just big knickers, just big, but to like covered knickers, but still, I just
Yeah,
remember going in the next day and just being again bright red, thinking,
mortified.
yeah,
That's
horrendous, really.
at that age as well,
Yeah.
because you are an actor as well, aren't you? So
Yes.
it didn't put you off then.
No, maybe it should have been a warning, really. The more we speak it
How
out loud, I'm
funny.
thinking, why has
Yeah.
this been the path? Yeah.
Well, maybe it was the right path because you were so determined. Despite all these things, you did it anyway. So how about as you got into older teenagehood and went through big school,
Um,
did it
uh,
improve?
no, of course not. No,
Course not.
I am a very bad driver. Very bad. Very, very bad.
Are
Like
you?
I haven't driven. I'm 33 now. I haven't driven since I was 23, which is ridiculous, really. But
I hate driving, I wouldn't
do
unless I
you,
had to. It
yeah,
took me 7 tests to pass,
did
so
it? See,
yeah,
so I passed.
I bet you
I
beat.
did pass on the first go,
Did
but
you?
that is not a brag. I got the maximum amount of the what are they called minors or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I was being way over chatty with the instructor, very inappropriate. And then my mum bought a balloon. I remember this. This isn't even the cringe story I was going to tell, but I remember I came back and said I'd passed my test, and my mum had come back. She was a teacher and came back from work with like a little cute bear with like holding an L plate and a balloon, and
Oh.
she just burst into tears and started shouting at the top of her voice, "That instructor doesn't know what they're doing. There's no way you should have passed. You're a danger to everybody else." As she was giving me the balloon, I was
Oh
like, "This is the
gosh,
weirdest
that is
congratulations."
weird,
But
yeah.
she's the best mum ever. She's so supportive, and she was right. I shouldn't have
She was
passed.
right. Yeah, she was right all along. She knew. Did she see the amount of minors and say,
Yes.
actually, oh, well, that's why then? She didn't
No,
just randomly.
and she'd
Um,
sat in the car with me while I was learning, and, I don't
yeah,
really know what a curb is. I bounce off the curbs, it's
yeah.
terrible.
The less you drive, the harder it gets. I'd much rather get a train.
That's
Go
just made
for
me
it.
think, don't get back in the car even if there's an
No, no,
emergency.
it's just me. I did get hit by a bus in a car and had a really bad car accident. That's why I got put off driving. Not everyone can say they got hit by a bus. Like, what are the
No,
chances of that, Emma?
it's like a Mean Girls moment.
I reckon.
Honestly, no. So the things I did when I was driving, I in one of my lessons, the instructor said we were coming up to the roundabout, and he said take right, as in take the right exit, and I just turned the car right and went the wrong way onto oncoming
Oh,
traffic. So
yes.
then the whole roundabout stopped, and the instructor shouted, "This is like the worst lesson I've ever given." At school,
Nice.
I left. I when I got college, I left my handbrake off the car as I parked it because I was running in late, and then I had all these texts on my phone from the different boys in my, like, year, and I was not that kind of girl. I didn't get texts from boys, so
No.
I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And then they were like, "You need to come to the car park now." And I remember I had my little rucksack, and I ran, like, sweatily through the corridor to see that they were
Yeah.
holding my car. So it was a car park and then a
Oh,
hill,
really? Oh,
and
how
they'd been playing
fun.
football, they'd run up and they were holding my little
'Cause it had
car.
rolled right. Oh, that was nice of them. They
Really
saved your
nice.
car.
Yeah, that was the only interaction I really had with boys at secondary school, but,
That's maybe maybe that could have been your tactic to meet boys, just leave the handbrake off and hope for the best.
leave the handbrake
So,
off. Yeah, so that
yeah,
even now, if I've, like, mentioned driving, my friends will be like, "Don't, no
don't
way,
do it.
don't." So
Because I don't like driving it. I always have just a really old car. It's got a massive dent in the door. I had a fight with a bollard in my car, basically. I was reversing out of somewhere, and I don't know how I got stuck on the bollard, like, I couldn't back out. I don't like reversing, you see. So I've never hit anyone. It's mostly just ruining my car.
Great.
So,
I don't think
but
I could reverse a car if you paid me, honestly. Like, so recently, this ties in with I hadn't thought of
yeah.
this, but I went up for a commercial, for a car commercial, and my agent swapped us, so I applied for it and I went for the non-driver part. And then on the
Of
morning,
course.
she said, "You're going to have to do the driver part."
Yeah.
Went in, but hilariously, I've never had a commercial before ever, and I've never got one. I auditioned for them all the time, but I did get this commercial, and it's filming in like 2 weeks. But thankfully, I am not
Oh, that's
doing the drive.
amazing.
I'm not
Oh,
doing the driver
okay.
part.
That's
I could I had to kind of say to them, "Oh, it's gotta be the other way around," because I just thought that would have been the most hilariously
oh
bad
god.
thing in
Audition,
the
yeah.
world. I mean, I just would be crashing into the cameras. It'd
Yeah.
just be awful.
And it's when people are watching, when you're trying to park and there's other people, like, in the car
Yeah.
park standing around. But I never reverse into a parking space. I always I'm more not as bad reversing out of a space, but I can't reverse in. But then the other day I was getting a ticket from the machine, and this man said to me, "There are two kinds of people in this world. The ones who reverse into a space and the ones who reverse out of a space." And that was it. That's all he said. What the hell did he mean by
What
that?
does that mean?
I don't know. Was it a good thing? Was it like he just sort of left it ...
Yeah, he's a character. What did he mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I got the impression it was less than complimentary.
If you said to me now, pay you £50 to reverse a car, I don't think I could do it. And I have a license.
You would. It'd come back to you maybe. I mean, you might sort of flatten a few bollards at the same time,
Yes.
but...
Yeah. I'd rather sing Sugar Babes than reverse a car.
Yeah. Do both at the same time.
Yeah.
That would be your ultimate fever dream, wouldn't it?
Yes. Oh no, this is what's going to happen tonight. I'm going to wake up in a cold sweat.
So, aside from driving, are there any other cringy things that have stuck in your head?
Yeah, I mean, in general, as a person, I am a bit of a, this might make, because I'm hoping we're going to become friends, Emily Jane, but I might tell you this and then you're going to be like,
No.
absolutely not. But I am quite a bit of a Disney adult. And it's very,
Oh,
see, look, the friendship's just gone from your eyes.
I have another very good friend who is heavily into Disney, and it doesn't affect our friendship.
Really?
So it's all good.
It affects a lot of my friendship with my friends. They all absolutely think it's the worst thing. And I really embrace it. It's terrible, but I just have a lot of Disney things. I would fill the house probably with a lot of Disney cuddly toys if I didn't live with somebody else. Yeah, see, look, the friendship now is
No, I'm not. I tell you what my friend has. I don't want to give you ideas.
No, go on.
This is what she does. She has at Christmas, her whole tree is Disney, and she collects Disney things.
Love
so
it.
It's basically every bauble, every Disney decoration she could find is on that tree, and it's pretty impressive. So, yeah, that's a challenge for you this Christmas, Emma.
Great.
Have a Disney Christmas tree.
But I went to Disney for my 30th with my boyfriend because it was their 30th too, and I was very excited, very. And he's not a Disney adult, but he puts up with things. And we went, and I didn't realise how much when I saw the characters, how excited I would be as a 33-year-old woman with no children, may I add.
Okay.
So, yes, it gets worse. See? And then this is definitely the cringiest thing I've done in recent years, I think. There was, seeing the other characters, but there was big lines for them. And I was like, okay, we won't stand for 2 hours to meet Mickey Mouse, even though I was highly tempted. And then Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the characters from Alice in Wonderland, they came down the road with security, because there's a rule at Disney that you're not allowed to approach them if they're like they're moving from one place to another. I think it's something like I don't know if it's a rule, but it's
if they're in transit, don't disturb the characters. Yes, okay.
And I think that rule's more for children that are going to run up to them.
Of course, they trust people, on their 30th birthdays, surely.
Yeah, and I got so excited to see them, and I can't even tell this. This is going out to the general public. I got so excited, and we were like, I don't know, I just stood at the side, and then they walked past with their security. All the other children are there, being, letting them go past.
Following the rules.
Ran after them and started shouting, "C'est mon anniversaire! C'est mon anniversaire!" Pretending I was like fluent French to say, and I was going, "S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît." I know it's horrendous. It came out, and they were like, well, you couldn't see their faces because obviously they're covered in giant masks.
Of course, yes, you don't, but you can imagine.
Well, they started going much faster.
Yes, they might have thought you were a bit of a Disney psychopath or something. They might have been a bit scared.
Yeah, and then the bodyguards were like, no, and like, and then,
I'm surprised they didn't kick you out. But of all the characters, they're not even any of the best one. I mean, I can imagine if it was someone from Frozen, but Tweedledum and Tweedledee, that excited you enough to break all the rules.
Yeah, and I then had that moment after they'd walked away. I looked and I was just like, what did I just do? Like, what have I just done? What? That can't have happened.
You weren't even in control anymore. You were just lost in the Disney moment.
Yes.
What did your boyfriend say?
He didn't speak for a bit after, I think. And then we carried on the day, and now he likes to tell the story because it's absurd.
It is. It's craziness.
It's really. I mean, that's beyond cringe, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what would you have done if they had stopped?
Oh, and you'd hugged them.
Hugged. What wouldn't you have done? That's the question.
And and then recently, I don't know if you've seen online, but there's like videos and photos of people like do really funny sketches of what what the person in the costume might either look like
Oh, no, I
or
haven't
be
seen that.
thinking.
Hilarious.
And there's
Yeah.
a really funny Winnie the Pooh one where a woman walks in going, "Winnie the Pooh, it's my dream to meet you," and then there's a really hot, sweaty
Mm.
man underneath, like rolling his eyes. And now
Yeah.
or like there's a Minnie Mouse one that's gone round. You can tell what kind of content I get given.
Yeah.
But a Minnie Mouse one that is like a man having a cigarette inside, and I'm like, I can't think about the person inside. They're just
Oh,
really them.
this might upset you a bit then, because I used to do a bit of a skin work, as we say in the trade.
Did you?
Not on Disney though, but
What
I worked on
for?
the holiday parks and, sorry to break it to you,
Yeah,
Bradley Bear is not a real bear.
I've met Bradley Bear.
Have you? It might have been, how long ago was it? Might have
It
been
was
me as a young 18-year-old.
I met Brad so I used to go oh gosh, I'm laughing. I used to go to a caravan park with my grandparents in
Oh.
Cleethorpes,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's where
well,
they had Bradley Bear. Were you ever there?
no, I wasn't at
Mm,
Cleethorpes, but I do remember just
mm,
if the kids that were running up to me could
yeah,
see how I hated it. Another girl normally did it.
yes.
Um, but then I wasn't allowed to do it because I was too clumsy as well, and the big feet. I wasn't good enough. I fell off the stage in Bradley Bear once, and kids were crying and everything. So,
I've been Bradley Bear, I was like my childhood at
oh.
Cleethorpes. I'm looking up the old outfit. Did you have the little red cap and the like Hawaiian
Yeah,
shirt
I've
with the
got
bee
do you
on
know
it?
what? I've got a
Oh goodness.
photograph of me, as long as it won't upset you too much, I had
Oh,
taken the head off and I was holding the I'll send it to you
I mean, I don't know if I can cope
if
with
you
that, to
don't
be honest.
think it's too upsetting. Um, but I
Oh,
tell you, those costumes, absolutely filthy. They hardly ever get washed, like once a season. And if you think about it, like different people are doing the Bradley Bear. There was a larger man who sometimes did it. There were,
yeah.
and so it was full of sweat and it was
Oh.
disgusting. So it was like the worst experience. So you don't know that as a kid. They Tweedledum and Tweedledee probably in this
Stank
hot,
and
sweaty,
sweating.
skanky thing, and people are only wearing their underwear under that. It's too
No, they're
hot to wear
not.
anything up. Yeah. I
Oh,
don't know about
stop,
Disney.
no.
I don't
This can't be right.
Disney might have special rules, but believe it or not, the British holiday parks don't
Do
really
not.
care about your hygiene. So you could wear what you liked under it, but it was so hot. Like
Oh,
there wasn't a special thing to put on, but it's ridiculously hot.
oh, now
So
Minnie Mouse is
she's
just in
to
my head,
strip
a
out.
man in his
I
pants
just remember,
inside.
yeah, you just remember like whoever had done Bradley, like going backstage and you just unzip it and you were sat there sweating in your bra. Just take the head off.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
need to get a new I think, look, I
Oh
can't be a
god.
Disney adult anymore. You ruined it for me.
Sorry.
That's it.
I'm really hoping, listeners to this, tweens and families, I haven't broken their little hearts,
You've broken mine.
how old are you when you stop realizing it's not an actual bear?
33.
I'm so sorry.
You've ruined
I'm
this for
sorry.
me.
I have ruined it.
At the start of this, you said, actually, we're going to discuss it and realize embrace the shame.
Yeah.
But you're telling me this is one step too far.
One of the things I normally ask people is if they've got any hobbies that might be classed as cringy. Obviously, we're embracing our cringe. I'm very proud to be a badge collector, that is.
Are you a badge collector?
I am a badge collector
What
since I
kind
was
of
very
badges?
little. Usually souvenirs of places I've been.
Love it.
Because I'm not just going to cheat and buy, you can buy like a thing of pin badges. And they're
Yes.
quite cool. They've got little
Yeah.
sayings on them, like feminist ones. But I feel that's cheating. You're not a
Yes.
proper badger if you're just going to buy a bulk load of badges. They've got to be, like Canberra Sands, wherever you've been on holiday, things like that. I've got one
Yeah.
from Tesco. They were giving badges out once. So, if anyone's listening and thinking about doing a badge collection, don't go cheating and buying a big bulk of badges. They've got to mean so. I've got ones off the front cards,
So you're a
so
serious badge collector, like you've
serious
collected.
badger. Yeah.
Is that what it's called, a badger? As in the
Well,
animal?
I that's what I call it, and I like to think there's others out there that call it badgers. But I might have coined the phrase and just decided it made me sound cool, but now
It
I'm saying it out loud. I
I
don't
know,
think it
I like
does.
it, but then that's coming from me, so
Okay.
I mean, I'm interested in the badges because I've started a few
Have
badges
you?
recently, and I'm sorry, a lot of them are Disney because again, it all comes back to that. Yeah, so I've got a little book, but it's a little book that you put them in, so I've not got many. So how
Oh.
do you store yours? Because mine's like a
Oh,
book
now
with
you've
dots
put me
in it.
to shame because
What's yours?
mine are just in a tin that I had from when I was
Oh,
young, like an old roses tin when it
no,
used to
that's less
be.
cringe. I've
I
put them
know.
in a book.
Well,
I'm the
no,
cringe one
you just
here.
have to.
You've
Yeah,
brought
but
me on this podcast to shame me. That's what this
no, I feel like you've put me as a badger. You've put me to shame now. I
Okay.
mean, I have got a little frame with of my favourites in
Oh,
them.
that's
I wish
nice.
I had it to show you. I will post a picture of it. I will show you.
Of course. Yep, definitely.
I could talk badges all day, but
Yep.
we're gonna lose ratings, let's face it.
You've already lost them with Bradley Bear and the Disney, that's it.
Oh God. Is there anything else we can help you with today?
I don't
Anything else to get off your chest?
They were the stories I was bringing to the table. I don't know. Is there any general life?
Is there anything recently that's happened to you? Because obviously you've been doing a lot of book events and things like that.
Oh,
Anything along those
yes.
lines?
I think yeah. I mean, in general, I do like to run everywhere, as in I don't mean I'm
Oh,
saying that, and as in very cringely, I run around. I don't mean that
oh,
like, not like a
yeah.
marathon runner. No, I
Oh,
just
okay.
mean I'm constantly late for things. So
Russia,
I'll
yeah.
meet people and just be running. So I'll arrive, and a lot of my friends laugh at that. They're like, "Well, why are you running? We're going for a coffee." And I'll be like, "Sorry, I was gonna be late." So I'm always running. But no, the school events for Cruise Ship Kid have been fabulous. The kids are amazing. You do loads, don't you, as well, with
I
Cringe Club?
love it.
Like,
It's not because you spend so much time working on your own, which I do love as well, to be fair.
yeah,
But then there comes a point you've got to come out of the cave. And the kids are always really nice, and the booksellers and everyone.
yeah.
So yeah, no, I do love it.
They're brilliant, but I mean, my event is a little bit like it deliberately all goes wrong and the main
Oh,
character
cool.
takes over the event. So it's fun in a way because even when things actually go wrong, as they often do, like
Yes.
the PowerPoint crashes or the school have assured you that the clicker works and then the clicker does not work. You know, those little things that
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
out loud don't feel cringe, but in the moment
No,
you're
they
thinking,
do. When you've got
um,
loads of kids looking at you. So I feel your pain.
but that one's fine because I can just go, "Oh, it's Silver doing
Yeah.
that, sorry. Oh, Silver again," and that's fine. But there is one point where I have one of my headshots up in a silly way, and it's meant to be jokey and stuff happens
Yeah.
to the headshot and stuff, and that's funny. But a lot of the time this is happening now. This headshot is not very old, but they go, "Who's that?" Um, "It's me." "Oh, who is that? Oh, it doesn't look like you. Are you a lot younger there?"
Oh,
I'm
that's
like, "Ah,
hilarious. Oh,
okay, okay,
nice.
you're all great, but yes, I was younger there."
The kids, brilliant.
So
Yeah.
have you had any cringe things in your events?
Um, Probably quite yeah, probably every time, but again, you can get away with it because
Mm.
it's all about when I do the cringy ones, it's all about cringe. So I think the cringiest thing I do is probably I do like a little rap, and have a costume. It's quite but
Yes.
that is
Oh,
part of the thing, but sometimes I get the words wrong in the moment. But of course, it's a song from the 90s. Kids don't even know. So, but in my head, I feel like 12-year-old me would be so disappointed that you forgot the words to Ice Ice Baby in front of an audience.
love
Um,
it. We've come full circle back to the Sugar Babes. That's
we've
brilliant.
had
But
yeah, exactly. So,
can
yeah,
I ask you, do you write songs as well? Because obviously in the book, Kennedy does lots of like song-esque or
she does.
poems, and which I
Yeah, little
love those
poemy
bits that break it
songs.
up. Yeah, do you write them as well in life? Are you a
I
bit of a
do
songwriter?
yeah, no, I do write poems. That's what gave me the idea to write them as Kennedy, because actually one of them it was in one of my diaries, so it's actually my poem. I've recycled it. I think it was about, um, parents being annoying and wanted you to do sensible things and not be a how she wanted to be a famous magician. So,
Yes.
yeah, so I do, and I do still write. But my poems now, they're a bit different. I only really write them when I'm in a bad mood or
Okay.
really sad.
Oh.
So they're not as fun anymore. But I do find it a helpful way to get your feelings down.
Mm.
So How
I love
about
that you're
you? Do you
uh,
do anything like
yeah,
that?
I do love writing songs actually, yeah, I used to do quite a bit more, like, comedy songs and stuff in the past,
Oh,
but I would
yeah.
like to do that more, but, I definitely didn't do that kind of thing as a kid, and I love that your diaries, because 'cause I've still got I used to I think diary writing's so important, I used to keep
Yeah.
diaries as a kid, but your diaries sound really, like, fun and cheeky and giving you loads of material, and
They're really cringy.
but that's great.
Yeah.
Mine, I would love to, because 'cause I've got they look really cool from the front because they're literally like a little travel journal from the year
Yeah.
2000 or whatever, great. But when you open them, they're so formal because I definitely was trying to get some sort of extra points from school. So there's no way I could use any of it. It's all like,
Yeah.
"Today we meandered up to the
Really.
buffet." You're like, "What? No one speaks like that."
Do you know what? I think you almost take on do a different persona for your diary. Like, because mine, like, when I was growing up in the 90s and stuff, there was a lot of like American TV shows that were really big,
Yes.
American rappers. And so I talked to my diary like in a kind of American style. I was
Yeah.
like, I gave it a name. It was called Fresh D, as in Fresh Diary. I think I was watching Fresh Prince in it.
'Kay.
So I'm always in there going, yo, yo, homeboy, how's it? Like, it's so
Stop.
embarrassing. It's so cringe. I know. And I didn't walk around school talking like that. We were obviously heavily influenced by all the rappers and Saved by the Bell and all that kind of
Love
thing.
Saved by the Bell, but that's comedy gold though, that's brilliant. Mine are so unhelpful. Mine will be like, "We ventured ashore today and tried a couple of
Oh,
appetizers." I definitely thought I was getting these marked or something because they're not my, like, scribbly diaries. They're more
but
a
that would
cringe
be
bit of homework.
interesting because of your that is such an interesting lifestyle. Like, you were growing up on a ship. Hardly anyone will say that about their childhood. So what you lacked in, cool
Yos.
humor, you gained in plot. I bet it was much more exciting, an insight into a completely different lifestyle.
It was a very
So
cool lifestyle, yeah. So it helped in ways, but I do wish we'd have got some Yos and some homeboys in there.
just
It
to
would
be
have
a
made it,
bit cool.
yeah.
Also, another thing I wrote in mine a lot, I don't know if yours are like this, when I was in a bad mood with my parents or something, and I was so dramatic about it. And my parents were lovely, but I make them sound like they're actually horrible. Just because my dad had asked me to load the dishwasher or something like that. I was like, I can't believe it. They have no idea what it's like to be a modern teenager. My poor parent.
Yeah, I'm
I did
sorry.
a petition to get parents banned in one of them.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I'm actually thinking of my old, like, my diaries that
Mm.
weren't for, like, a school project or anything, but I used to be just so possessive of who my best friend was, like, and it would change every day,
Yeah.
and I'd write out, "I can't believe, this person's
Ugh.
done this to me by standing with this person in the other corner when we stand in
Oh.
that corner," and I think that's so in my writing as well, that, like, the
Yes.
friendship,
Yeah, we kind
friendship
of
thing.
bring these things with us, I think. But it is handy to keep them. I always do tell children when I do events how useful it can be to keep a diary. Because
Mm.
even my other book were all inspired by stuff I wrote, scribbled down when I was a kid. Could you still write a diary now?
Oh, I really wish I could say yes to that, because 'cause that'd be such a good answer, wouldn't it?
Well,
I
I've neglected mine lately. I think I had when I had kids, it started slacking off. I
yeah.
wrote the odd moan, but then what I did, I got this instead, which is a line a day diary.
Yeah, I've heard about
So,
these, I've never, are they
because I
good?
was like, yeah, and it's got 5 years in it. So as you go along, you can see what you did for the past few years on that day.
That's
Um,
brilliant.
I mean, the main thing I learned, Emma, from reading back over, the past few years of keeping these diaries is that I'm really boring. Period came on, really bad tummy ache. That's just what I opened it on. But I write a lot of stuff on the computer now, like
Mm.
if I am writing a grumpy poem or something.
Do you write your books on the computer? I mean, obviously, you write them eventually on the computer, because otherwise, how are they going? But
No, no,
I
I write them
handwrite
on a slate in chalk.
but I do
No, yeah, I
handwrite
do.
so much first, and I did a bit of diary writing in lockdown and stuff, but, yeah, that's probably a bit cringe actually, that I handwrite everywhere
Do
and
you?
then
No,
type it
quite
up,
a few
but
authors I've spoken to do that, but I actually find now I get more ideas when I'm typing to when I get, sometimes I think, oh, I'll go and sit in the garden with my notebook
yeah.
and just write out there, but it doesn't come natural. And I've got terrible writing as well, so I do write a lot of notes before I
Mm.
start writing. I often can't read what I put, so I'll stick to the
Typed.
typing, I think. God, we've been chatting for ages.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like we're having an natter. I keep forgetting we're doing a podcast. Sorry.
Do you know, I've wanted to meet you for ages, not only because I loved your
Same.
book, and other people that I've met who've met you always say you're, like, really lovely and fun, so, you know, I
Don't
was
tell them
like
about Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They might listen to this and then they are gonna know. I regret that story. That's my only regret of this podcast. The rest could have.
So I liked the story. I think it brought out a lot of things, got rid of some of my Bradley Bear horror memories of being half naked in that sweaty costume. That's not a nice image to end this podcast on,
It's
is it really?
it's appropriate, I
No.
guess.
Okay. And of course, before we go, I would just like, because it's fairly new, your second book, could you give us a little quick taster of what
Of
it's about?
course, thank you so much. In Cruise Ship Kid, Silver, who lives on a ship, with her old people friends, the gang. This time, a influencer gets kidnapped on board, and
Nice.
Silver and the gang have to find out where she's gone and why. And it also touches a little bit upon phone use. And Silver really wants a phone, but by the end, no spoilers, but sort of realizes the things she was missing out on when using other people's phones. Like
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
it's a fun
Good
one.
message.
It's a
Good message
fun
and very
one.
true.
It
Very
is.
true.
I know, but then I say in my event, I'm so hypocritical because I spend so much of my time doing this. Like I'm not out there. I'm constantly glued to my screen.
Well, I think the main thing I do use is messaging, and I do like that. It's like the characters in my book. Obviously, they have just started secondary school, so that's when most kids are allowed a phone. Um, but yeah, but they're only allowed the messaging app. Okay, how do you feel, Emma? You feeling any lighter or worse?
No, definitely more ashamed and like that I'm going to throw away some Disney cuddly toys. So the message for this is,
No.
Disney adults, it's one step too far.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'll look forward to reading your book, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again to Emma for joining me in the Cringe Club today. I knew she was going to be fun. I'm a big fan of her book, and her second one is out now, Kidnap at Sea, which I can't wait to read. Anyway, go and order that up. And if you want some more cringe, obviously you can go and check out my Cringe Club series. The new one, SOS, Summer of Suffering, is out in July and available for pre-order right now. Keep on cringing, everyone. See you next time.